Leos. Welcome Leo for your yearly horoscope for 2015. And what is going on in 2015 for Leos? If you've got a Leo rising sign or a sun sign in Leo or some other personal planets in Leo, then this is your forecast in general. What is important for the Leos is this contradiction between Jupiter and Saturn. That's going to be key, or that was key last year, but also for some of you that will be key this year. The contradiction between expansion and contraction. And I've seen a lot of Leos which were really saying to me, hey, but I don't feel this Jupiter in my sign. Where is this Jupiter? They say Jupiter in Leo, but I don't feel it. And then I look at their charts and they have, for instance, Saturn exactly squaring up to their sun sign, for instance, or their moon sign. So it's this double paradoxal energy for the Leos. And that will improve in 2015. Because Saturn is not in Scorpio anymore. It will be for a little percentage of Leos. And those who were born on the 22nd to the 23rd of August, they have planets in Leo maybe or an ascendant at 28 or 29 degrees. And they will still feel Saturn energy, but only a couple of months. So it's only June, July and August of next year. So for these people, this energy of contraction and expansion is still a bit going on there. But for most of you Leos, you will come into a year where there is less restriction. So and less Saturn energy. So there are people, the cardinal signs, who are feeling more the Pluto-Uranus transit, and there are people like you, one of the fixed signs, that are feeling more the heavy Saturn on you. So, so for a lot of you, Saturn has been squared up to your sign. So that's why those Leos that said, oh, I can't feel, I rarely feel or barely feel this Jupiterian expansive energy, where is it? It's because Saturn is still demanding so much of you, especially when it's your sun sign, and then you are low on energy and you need to listen to that. You need to listen to your body and slow down a little bit. Saturn is saying slow down. But the good thing of this is that a lot of Leos will now see the fruits of their hard work in 2015. With the hard work, I mean the inner hard work, because you had Saturn in the root of your chart, which is the 4th house, which is a key area of your life. That's why this Saturn was so heavy. One, because it's squared up to your sign, and secondly, it is one of the key areas of it. It's the root of your chart actually. So it's where you come from. So a lot of Leos have thought and digged deep when it comes to their roots, when it comes to their attachment to home. So if you are a younger Leo, for instance, maybe the getting away from the parents wasn't so smoothly, or the getting away means becoming mature and standing on your own feet. If you are a bit older, it can mean that you have last year that you've shifted homes, that being at home you couldn't relax by just being at home, for instance, and the only thing that you could do, you thought, was work. But that's not always true. It is there for a reason, and the reason is to give you this expansion, because still in 2015, as up until August, you will have Jupiter in your sign. So for a lot of you, you won't have Saturn anymore, but you will have Jupiter. So have that patience. If you have worked hard, there will be rewards there, absolutely. As from August, and onwards, Jupiter comes into your second house, which gives you a boost of confidence. And the Leos are known for being the most confident sign of the zodiac, because they just shine because they don't have to invest, they just are. And with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and meaningfulness and positivity, in the second house means actually that you will feel pretty good about yourself, especially when you look at what you've achieved last year. And it can also mean more money coming in. So on a financial, and it can not always mean financially, but that you feel that you are more worth, that you are more talented. It's also the house of talents. It's the house of what you value in your life as well. What is important in your life that's going to become even more meaningful in the upcoming year, as from August until the end of the year. So it seems to me that but there is another thing. It seems to me that for most of you Leos, life will become a little bit lighter. But Saturn is always transiting in some house. So when we look at where we need to work hard, it's looking at Saturn and Pluto. And Saturn will shift into your fifth house. So as I said, for the whole year, except for those couple of months, what did I say, June up until September, it's going to shift back again into your fourth house. But most time of the year, Saturn will now be in your fifth house. And that is that by working hard on your expression, that will be good for you. So it means actually Saturn going to the fifth house is a bit paradoxical for you Leos, because the fifth house is your house. It's the house of self-expression. It's the house of romance. It's the house of being in love with love. It's the house of joyfulness, of having fun, having pleasure, which is very crucial for fire signs and especially for a Leo. Saturn goes into it, which means that it is a bit more serious. You're getting a bit more serious when it comes to all those things I just mentioned. It can be very simple that you're getting more serious about a hobby and turn it into a job, for instance. It can mean that you become a bit more serious in how you express yourself to other people. And it means that it needs to be that way. Maybe you're not going to be that open as you're used to, but that actually adds to your being mature and having a bit more boundaries there. So, because it is needed. So you can look at it as you want, but probably you Leos, you never like restrictions. So Saturn in Leo is it in its detriment or in its fall? I think in its fall, and that means that it's very simple because Leos don't like restrictions, and that's why Leos don't like Saturn that much, unless you're someone who is a bit older and who has experienced themselves that by working hard there is a reward as well. Working hard on something, you know, on yourself or on a job or whatever. But the Saturn in your fifth house is there to define you a little bit more. Maybe you had like 10 hobbies and now it's going to turn into 2 hobbies. It can be as simple as that. What else? So I mentioned the Jupiter, the Saturn. Then, yes, Neptune will be in your 8th house, and that will be the same as last year. So where Neptune is, things can dissolve. This can, and the 8th house is the value of other people, money of other people. It can also mean that the house of transformation, you do that in the letting go of stuff. That's basically it. When you detach yourself a little bit, let go a little bit, that's your transformation for the Leos. So that will continue as last year. And then Pluto in Uranus, as I said, which is a bit less stressful for you Leos, Pluto will still be in the 6th house. So keep on going with the health. Watch out your health when it comes to not listening to your body. Let's put it that way. If your body is saying, oh, tired here, can't listen to it. Because and Pluto is the transformator, so you transform through a good diet, good taking care of yourself. That's the best thing that you can do actually in all situations, but especially with you with Pluto there. Also your day-to-day routine. Your day-to-day routine is quite intense for a lot of Leos, and you stick to it, but don't be passionate, yes, but don't get obsessive. That's actually the best advice for you Leos. And then Uranus in the 9th house as last year. This is actually adding to you being more independent about your opinions, being more individualistic when it comes to your opinions and when it comes to your views. So investigate your own view. What is your view upon life, and so that it will become more difficult for other people to force you towards something that you would believe in or not. And this is good for you. This is it means that you are learning to have a more independent view upon things. The 9th house is the house of religion, the house of God, the house of the universe, the house of astrology. But it's so it could be that could be the case, but it's also the house of just a view upon things, an opinion upon how you raise your kids, for instance. That's an opinion. I can have an opinion that raising kids very disciplined is the way. Or I can have an opinion that being very open and giving lots of space is the way. So whatever it is, you're exploring your own way, and that can be, with Uranus there, sometimes feeling as you are going against the stream. Because where Uranus is, you go against the stream. So in your 9th house, that's what it's all about. I just want to mention that the eclipses, because your sun is involved, of course. There will be eclipses in March and April and in September, but I will be talking about them more in the monthly horoscopes. The only thing I want to say is that around March it's in Pisces, so that is more the 8th house. So there's some new beginnings there with the letting go that I just mentioned. Then also in Virgo, which is your 2nd house, where Jupiter will be already in September. Then there is the solar eclipse in Virgo. So that has to do around that time, around maybe money coming in or something new, a new talent that you develop, because it's a new solar eclipse. And then the other eclipses where the sun is, so there the sun was next to the moon, but in the lunar eclipse the sun, your ruler, is in an opposition with the moon, which is a bit different. In April that will be in Libra, so that is good for you, because that's good energy flowing towards you, Libra. And that is around April, so the moon will be in Libra. That's very positive. And in September, the moon will be in Aries, which is a fellow fire sign. So there comes something in fruition on the axis of Libra and of Aries, which is the axis of the communication houses, thinking houses, seeing things in a different way. So very exciting year for Leos, and I hope it's a good year for you. Wishing you all the best, make the best out of it, and see you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for listening.